Oh, Foxy, it's your birthday. Not for real, just for play. This is Cree Summer, and Moana Nui will be right back.
Aloha mai kako, everybody. Welcome to tonight's episode of the Moana Nui Podcast. My name is Moana, and I'll be your host tonight. Dana is kind of has another commitment tonight, so I'll be flying solo. I feel like it's been a while since I've come on the show live. We've been growing, our community, and so like our other segments have been running pretty regularly, but Dana and I have been super busy behind the scenes, trying to put the different pieces in place to keep our show growing so that we can continue to bring all of this fun content before our listeners. This past weekend, we were at Atlantic Comic Con, which is a brand new Comic Con in the Norfolk, Virginia area. And that show was run by Darren Flood and Greg Burnham, who's the creator of Tuskegee Airs, another fellow indie creator and friend who I just admire and respect so much. So they did a wonderful job putting together this first time con, and everybody who was there is really excited to hear that they're going to be obviously continuing again, and we're anxiously awaiting dates for 2025. So if you are in the area, or you have friends or family in the Virginia East Coast area, and people who like to travel to cons, definitely check it out. One of the coolest things that I liked about it, that kind of set the show off as like unique, was they had kind of like a mini car show in the front of the hotel, which was awesome. And they had a Black Panther themed car, and Aurora themed car, and a couple other different ones, which I thought was really cool, and a nice special touch to the show. So just wanted to shout out Atlantic Comic Con. We are going to, we did a couple panels and a couple booth interviews. So definitely check out stay tuned on our YouTube channel, as we will be bringing those to you guys as well. And if you're not subscribed and you're watching now, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification button, so you can get all of our content and the types of interviews like we're doing today. So tonight, I'm excited to have my friends, my favorite Hawaii-based creator, Mana Comics, Christopher Carvalho. He runs such an amazing company. His creativity is if you're from Hawaii and you haven't read his books, let me just tell you right now, you need to check out the books, because it's so relatable if you grew up in Hawaii. He has a number of series. Amakua was the first one. He has a Kamehameha series. He has a Pele series. He has Nui Nui Warriors. And then tonight we're talking about brand new character on one, and then Smaka and TeamUp, with an existing character, which of course is the Tita of Ahine in the crew. So I gotta shout her out. So let me bring them on. I'm tonight, and I have Chris, and then I also have the other creatives on the project, which is exciting. And I can't wait for you guys to meet them. So first, let me introduce Chris Carvalho. As I mentioned, he's the CEO, founder of Mana Comics, and all around good, kind brother. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it? Aloha. Thank you, Moana, once again for allowing me to come and talk story to you about Mana Comics.
Of course. Yeah, I'm excited. So I hope you get because I was a little bit behind the curve today. I never grabbed my comics for for sure. So I hope you get some next to you so we can show as we go along.
Thank you again.
Alrighty. And then next is He's one of my favorite artists because he also works on my projects as well. Spactana. He is also a Hawaii-based creator. He came and lived on the continent for a little while, but then he was like, I'm going back home. So it's good to see him back home and have him as part of this project. His chibi art style is so awesome, and I'm really excited to have him on the show. Welcome, Spactana.
Hello, I'm Moana and Christopher. Hello. Glad to be back.
Yes. Check out his art. Like, so see, like on his shirt, like he's sporting some of his good stuff. If you're not following him on Twitch, I would definitely check him out, Spactana. You can look him up there. If you like to like watch the creation process, like he does a lot of videos as he's drawing, and that's kind of, I think that's probably how we probably met initially, because I saw his style and I kind of stalked his Twitch, and then probably started to be like, wait, can I get a commission? So yeah, good, excited to have you on. And then last but not least, Daryl Young. He is a creator on this project, and he is a little bit closer to me on the East Coast. He's living on the continent as well, so we're excited to have him join the Mana Ohana. Welcome, Daryl.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you.
What's up there?
Awesome.
Hey.
So if you're watching, Daryl is only going to be audio tonight, but that's all right. We're going to show his picture later so you guys know what he looked like. But we're excited to have him. Shout out to Momi Chu and Zentradi. Hopefully I'm saying that right in the Twitch chat. Good to see you guys. So I did a good intro of Chris and Spactana, but Daryl, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like how long you've been in comics and like how you connected with Chris on this project?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'd love to. So probably just like Christopher, I found as I was working with him that we probably are like that term brothers from another mother. It's like we just everything that he knows, I know. Everything I know that he knows. So growing up, I was, we didn't have video games. We didn't have cable TV, or that was very new at the time. So really, it was comic books and maybe record albums. That's what you would spend your money on, comics and music, maybe, trading cards or, wacky packages cards, something like that. So it just, I've always loved art. I knew I wanted to be an artist probably like when I was like 5 or 6 years old, which I know that's bizarre, but I loved it. So as I got older, I went to, I'm from the Chicago area. I went to Columbia College in Chicago. I studied film and animation. And I was an animator in Chicago for about 9 years. And everybody says, well, what did you work on? And I said, well, Lucky Charms and Tricks Rabbit. Oh, yeah. So I did those for about 9 years for General Mills. And then I switched over to toy design for quite some time, doing stuff for Happy Meals, Burger King, Wendy's, MetLife Snoopy plush. And then COVID came and changed everybody's lives. Right, it changed everybody's life. So suddenly, I was very fortunate. I was an artist that was always working a full-time job, which is kind of unheard of in the art community. It's very rare to have a full-time job for such a long time. And suddenly, boom, goodbye. And so I started doing shows, and I started doing what I love. Put it that way. I was doing the other stuff, and it was okay. I got a paycheck, and I loved it. I loved the paycheck. But I always liked comic stuff, so I started doing comic conventions and posting, like crazy, Instagram, Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that's how Christopher and I met. Was he saw my work? Christopher, can you tell her how you saw my stuff?
He describes exactly what occurred. He's got this talent that I was like immediately drawn to. Very classy, very just the kind of cartoony look that I absolutely love. I saw a couple of his. He sells prints, a lot of prints, and I have a lot of characters obviously that I'm fans of. And if you go to he has a link. you go to his link, he has a whole shop, and I was just going, oh, I love this guy. Oh, I love this guy. Or like I have like a bunch of Avengers printouts from Daryl that's up in my room. It's just so fascinating. I never really thought that I would actually reach out to him as far as, hey, I think you'd be great for this project, because I just thought he was just next level and probably wouldn't want to do it. Yeah, Daryl Stafford, yeah, but he knows, because he's obviously you heard his resume action. I was thinking, I wonder if he'll do it, but I first off, I commissioned him for a variant cover actually for AKUMAN, but I made it where Aku Dog was like the center of attention on this, and Daryl did me like a homage one of Aku Dog and AKUMAN with like a villain, and then it looks so freaking cool. I can't
Thank you.
I can't even describe it. It's if you do a side by side, it just was killer. It was spot on to it, and I was like, man, I can't use this for the variant. It's too good. He has his own series, and that's got to be issue number 1. So I shelved it, and then that's where I stumbled upon him that way. I don't want to give too much away, because the beginning of this whole adventure actually starts back with Shun, and then and that's where we went. That's how I met Daryl.
That's awesome. Daryl, some of your work is like that.
Yeah.
I'm just like, all the things that you mentioned, I was like, oh wow, that was you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Right? It's like a candy store. It really
thank
is.
you. So when Christopher, I had done the cover for him, and I sent it in, and it was really spontaneous. He's just like, you'd be really good at this book. What do you think? And I was like, probably within an hour, we sealed it up. It happened really quick. And a couple of reasons why. I've worked with a lot of different types of people. Not so much in comics. Comics is new to me. So I'm not a young guy. I'm an older guy. I'm probably around Christopher's age. Not that we're old. It's like a fine wine, right? We're aged well. But just right away, I liked them. You get a feeling for somebody, right off the bat, and I liked them, and we worked really well on the cover together. Meaning he gave me complete freedom. He's like, okay, this is what I want. Handed it in. He's like, boom, that's great. And but then I started exploring his world, his universe, his comics that he did, and so not only did I like him, but I liked his comics. I liked what he was doing. I liked the characters. I liked the world that he was doing. I liked that he was doing these homegrown heroes from Hawaii. I thought that was awesome, and I thought that we need more of that. We need more of that. So I'm like, I want to be a part of this. So it was a very easy decision, and I had a great time working with him. It was, once again, brother from another mother. It was smooth sailing, 100%.
Yeah. Thanks,
That's
Daryl.
amazing.
Well, I'll tell you, I'll Venmo you right after this. And,
you know my rates, right?
You're just making me look good, man. Thank you, Daryl. Appreciate that.
Oh, I love that. It is awesome when those creative energies come together on a project, and then it's just like life is never the same. So that's awesome. So Sean, how did you get involved in this project? I mean, I know you've worked with Chris before on Baby Sister Shark and that particular project. What's your role in this one?
I've worked with Christopher for, I think, Baby Sister Shark, like you mentioned, 1 and 2, and then I was excited whenever I get a message from him. I have a project for you, and he told me, I have another project for you, another Baby Sister Shark. So like, yes, I'm down. So he reached out to me and he told me the story is gonna be it's gonna have a new character. I think AKUMAN it was, and then he told me, like, here, study him, try to draw him, all of this, and then he reached out to me.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's really cool to see, like, to have like Chris's storytelling and then like Spectana's art and even like
Yeah.
Daryl's art. When I saw the Kickstarter project image, I was like, that style looks so familiar. So now that you're talking about all the things you've worked on, I'm like, oh, okay, it makes sense now.
The project goes back to I think there was a time like right when The Rock was doing Black Adam that was being released, and then there was a lot of Jason Momoa was coming out with his Aquaman 2, and the idea in my head was these guys. I mean, yeah, it's cool that they're representing Hawaii in like in different costumes, but what if the costumes could be like Hawaii heroes, like heroes from here, yeah. So and that's kind of what sparked the idea. Was that Aquaman idea, that little play off of Aquaman. It's like, let's do one with Jason Momoa. That would be awesome. And that was the beginning that sparked the idea of like using local actors as your like model, to do something. And it is a play on words. However, he's definitely stands on his own as being different. I didn't want like Aquaman to be like this king of Atlantis. I wanted him to be like just brought up from Nana Cooley, but I didn't even get to that point yet, because initially I just was in my head. I was like, okay, I want to do something with how I'm going to introduce this guy. So that's what I came up with, the idea of, the baby sister shark as being that character that brings her into that Moana comics universe. But, in a way where like, okay, what if Jason Momoa is playing Aquaman? Okay, Aquaman is like his own identity, his own character. But let's say he in this comic that I wanted to create with Shun, it's like, okay, he there's like an Aquaman event at a place called Ocean Island, similar to the Sea Life Park. Let's start there. What kind of hijinks and shenanigans can we create by putting that inside, and having Baby Sister Shark just saying, Aquaman is the most ridiculous superhero I've ever could even think of. It's kind of like Aquaman is sort of like a considered maybe like a B-list, not so popular. Although with Jason taking over that role, he definitely pushed that character. No one's going to make fun of him doing that. But Aquaman is that B-list type of character, and so within the story, I wanted to reflect like how I'm thinking probably Jason goes through as people can be, mean and mocking to Aquaman, the character. However, deep down, there is a love from the island people here that they're going to support you no matter what, no matter who you are. And that was kind of like the theme I put in there, as well as just having fun with the dynamics of Baby Sister Shark having to, help out, a character, a superhero that she never really thought was he's ridiculous as far as she's concerned. So it was a fun story. I know me and Shun was working on it quite a while back, and there was a time where I was hoping to present the idea to actually Jason Momoa, because he comes here to the island a couple of times for whatever reasons. I think it was for promoting his was it tequila or something, or his and then so he came for a couple of instances, and I tried to get in to talk about homeboy. He rolls hard, and man, he's got some people that screen him. So I came in, with some AKUMAN gear and stuff, and posters and prints to try to go talk to them and say, hey, is it okay if I do this? Is but they were they sort of like he had like a net around him, so I think they were trying to explain to me and say, hey, DC's pretty rough as far as there being. Hey, you can't have something else while this is going on. And I don't think the movie came out yet. So it was him, seen with something different might have been, an issue legally for him. I'm not sure. But when we did see Jason and we had the print, he's like, wow, that's really cool. So he did like see the one Shun did. He had this really awesome, I blew it up, and another print, Aquaman print, just side by side, and he just really thought that was cool. So that was a good feeling. I think Shun actually worked really hard on this book. I think that, like I said, we done I think like maybe 5 or 10 to 12 pages in the past. So Shun really stepped his game up with having to do like, I think it was like 26 pages, Sean. So I think I approached him. I said, dude, it's going to get rough. But just let me know, because in the past when I've worked with other artists and stuff, artists will tend to get burnout. So I just say, hey, if you have anything, or if you have problems that arise or come up, then just let me know. So we had our, snags here and there, but Sean was always like put in 110% in any work that he does. So I was just more than pleased. And as that pot was going, I didn't think of AKUMAN #1 yet, but as it was evolving and I was seeing the dynamics of what was happening, I was like, dude, the AKUMAN character itself, that's the one that Jason Momoa is playing in this book that we're making, I think he deserves his own book. And that's when I jumped over to ask Brother Daryl, say, hey, are you interested in this book? And that story came fast to me and furious, because I already had an image of what he was about in the book. So it all came together, and with the most perfect people that I could ever ask for, because both are talented in their #1 in their own right, and their own styles that they're bringing to the table. And when you actually get the book, the level of details and things that you can catch, it blows me away. Like I'll say it, but I don't really tell these two guys, because I don't really talk to every single panel. But I noticed things, and they put, like I said, both of them put 110 into this book. So I know for a fact the art and the story is just once again, it's that monocomics way of just bringing home to people. Like, this is how, this is Hawaii. This is what it's about. This is that local humor that we were raised on. And not only that local humor and island humor, it's presented in a way that of the stuff that I grew up loving, comics, Saturday morning cartoons, that all blend. It's just a winning combo.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I just love hearing like the behind the scenes of how stuff evolves, because especially as a creator myself, I'm like, how does this happen?
Oh yeah. And it just, you don't know what's these little behind the scene things. Shun was hard at work doing his thing. I had asked another artist actually to try to do an AKUMAN thing. I don't think he understood what it was about, which, he kind of just says he turned it down. I was like, wow, was it because they were talking pigeon? I just don't know. It makes you wonder. It's like, why did he abandon it? I mean, to me, it's like, it's a story, you're getting paid, but if I guess if you don't have the passion for it, you're not going to do it. So enter Daryl over here to actually do it. And, we were talking about characters that, from Nanakuli. So they're talking pigeon back to each other, and it's like, oh, Daryl, you're going for it. There's a scene of like this Tita with a Tita bun hanging outside of her lifted Yoda, and he's Daryl's drawing. I'm thinking, you don't realize that you're hitting like something iconic in the islands, man. But
well, you want to know my secret? You want to know my secret?
What's that?
My wife is Filipino.
So you got some local ties. You have some ideas about the Islanders, I think.
So I got some of your references, some of the jokes in there. I actually got them. I
think it does actually. It's definitely helpful to have that connection of an idea of what it is. You're not just drawing, but you can actually relate to. So yeah, Daryl and Sean, they nailed those books, and I couldn't be more proud of the both of them for their work that they did, because this one is different in a way. Like, I've kind of hit a few serious strides in the last issues that I've been doing with Kamehameha, with Pele, and I had Chanter recently. Different types of drama and different types of heartfelt emotions. But this one, I wanted to go back to what I did with Amakua #1, which was bring that island humor again back, and just to slow it down and just have fun with this one, and that's what I think we accomplished with these books.
Yeah, because that was what I was gonna ask Daryl. Like, with it being like Hawaii Bay, super pigeon, like all the little nuances.
I was wondering what he was thinking when he was like trying to interpret it, and I was like, okay, but he was doing it. I was like, okay, all right. He never questioned like bracelets, potato buns with a little bit of fries. He kept rolling with it, and I was like, okay, shoot, this, he's got it. So let's keep going.
Yeah, like Tita is auntie in Filipino.
See, it's that's great.
And I want to give anything away, but you have a gag with some luncheon meat.
Yes,
and that's another Filipino inside joke. So I got it. The only thing that was funny was when I got the script, I don't know what they were saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell are these guys talking about?
What's going on?
but however, this is how well I worked with Christopher was. I said, Christopher, I'm a visual person, and so is he. I learned. So I go, can you please send me sketches? They don't have to be detailed. So he sent me the script. I looked it over, and I said, oh my God, I don't know what half of what they're saying is. But when he sent me the sketches, kaboom, I got it. It was beautiful. That's what I needed. And as soon as the sketches started coming in, the light went on above my head, and I was like, I get it now. And so that goes back to really had a good time working with him, and I got what he was trying to do with the characters too.
Yeah, definitely. And Sean also does a great job of like characterizing his artwork. Like even if you just give him like a like simple concept, like when I work with him, I just like, here's kind of what I'm thinking, go for it. Like I don't give a lot of direction because I see his style, and like I already know it's gonna come out good. So Sean, how was it working on this one? And, what was your experience? Because I know like before I think this is your first sequential, right? Like Sister Baby Shark, like first time doing an actual full comic book, right? How was that for you?
Oh my gosh, it's working on this was, I think Daryl nailed it when he said earlier that Christopher we love that he gave us creative freedom, and my gosh, just like you, Moana and Christopher, you guys are amazing storytellers. You guys, the things that come up in your mind, and when you tell us, like, for instance, Christopher told me, okay, this is the idea, Jason Momoa, but not AKUMAN, AKUMAN. Boom, and I'm from Hawaii. My mind exploded. Like, what? And he told me, like, all the ideas, okay, AKUMAN's going to be doing this and that, and here's the script. Oh, my gosh. Like, his idea was just beautiful, and so I was excited to work on it. And like I said, I love that the past issues, he gives us the creative freedom to do what we want, and he looks at it and he's like, I love it. And then his little notes and details, they're so easy to understand and so easy to fix up. It was awesome. I always love working with him.
Yeah, definitely.
I think as a comic creator, it's trying to get into the flow with an artist is the greatest challenge, and it's a lot of trust. And what I learned with these two, it's just they when they're in the flow, they're adding their own little gags, they're adding their own little detail. Sean had one. I guess I don't want to give too much away, but he had this one gag within when they were just doing dialogue back and forth. Instead of doing like a boring back and forth, he added something, something more to it that just took it to the next level. And I was like, man, I would have never thought of that. So by giving them freedom, I think it really loosens up their creativity too, to pour a little bit of their heart into it, and it just makes it work that way with Sean and with Daryl. And sometimes like for Daryl's side, I'm jumping Daryl now, but I just put like nautical theme in AKUMAN's bedrooms and stuff, and I would notice the weirdest things, like on the bookshelves. If you look, you'll find the titles of books. You find like little shells or like a ship on a bottle. It's just I can only give so much description without being too much, and they to each their own, right? They took it there into that realm of where I wouldn't have thought of it, and that's like, oh, perfect. You added that, and it just makes it that much more better.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like
Mhm.
even when I write for my children's book series and then Ryan starts drawing, I'm like, oh my God.
Right. Yeah. And it's not, it's, we have a vision, but I think our vision sometimes is limited to what we can think
Yeah.
in our heads. Like, or for me, like, cause I can draw too, but I'm still limited in my drawing. So, okay, that's what I see when I'm drawing it, but then they can in turn, since they have, the next level skills for artwork, they can take it to that next level, which is, like I said, it just makes it way, way more awesome, way more better. And yeah, like I said, this project which it was so much fun, and to see both of them, pour their, all that aloha right into their. It just, yeah, these two books are special. Mana Team Up originally was, we were gonna do Sister Shark #3. That's how we set it up initially, but I wanted it to be like separate from that, only because I wanted it to be a special. Like this is too good. This is too good to waste just #3 issue. I want to make it where it's monumentous, because having like Baby Sister Shark meeting like Jason Momoa as AKUMAN, that's like again, this is dating myself. Like when Scooby Doo would meet like characters like the Three Stooges or Batman and
Yep.
Robin. That
Yep.
it's to that level of just
Yep.
awesomeness. When we saw that, and I would just get so excited. So I wanted that feeling with somebody picked up the book and say, "Hey, here's a character from the Moana Comics universe, Baby Sister Shark, and she's meeting Jason Momoa. What the hell? That's nuts!" And what do you call it? Shun just like I said, he took it there and beyond, and so did Daryl.
Yeah, that's amazing. I can't wait to see it. So you know what? I've been kind of, let me put the link up. So if you guys are tuning in to us right now, please check out the Kickstarter. They've already reached their goal, so this project is happening. Ain't no question. It's
Yeah,
happening.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
look at
it's
that.
gonna
That's
happen.
awesome.
Yeah, so it's definitely happening. We are in the background as it goes along. I'm catching up on the getting the coloring done and the lettering. So um, I'm hoping to get this to the backers at least by the end of October, if not sooner.
Nice.
And yeah, this one, it didn't start off as like a two comic deal, but I said, what the hell, this is definitely worth it to do something. And I hope that you out there, anyone who's watching this, that you would consider backing this project, because it really comes from a good place as usual and good intent. And this intent is definitely to just have fun, and going back to the roots of how Mono Comics is built on, and it's that local humor that that Taro was trying to decipher, but he did a good job. But yeah, there's a lot of references to what we're what happens here in Hawaii with the Aquaman story. So it's just fun. Even I'm in my head, I'm going back and forth between the books, and I'm remembering scenes, and as they're getting colored and bring the lettering, starting to come in, I'm thinking, damn, I remember why I love this. It's just too fun. So and I hope that as you guys can consider it and go for it, because it's gonna be a wild ride.
Yeah, definitely. So, like, Kickstarter being a crowdfunding platform, this is kind of how many of us have built our community of readers, and then like helping to kind of grow, your creative projects, and then like your ultimate vision. Like, how important has Kickstarter been for you? And then like, how have the fans and the readers who have come along, how have they influenced your work?
Yeah, that is a great question. So 2014, that's going to be almost 10 years in September. That's when I first pitched it on Kickstarter, and in my head it was, I didn't know anything about Kickstarter. I really didn't know anything about writing a comic book, or that was back when with Chris Loman we did the Amakua #1. But it was something that I was like, okay, it's one of those things that you have to do. Like, like all that time I was just, I was, working for the city and, HPD and doing that thing. I didn't have no creative outlet. When I was a kid, that's what I loved. I loved drawing. I loved cartoons and somehow along the way, reality hits, especially when it's not going to be paying bills as far as you could see at that point. And you have to switch up your dreams. So this was a dream that, back in the day as a kid, that really made me happy and I enjoyed making these little stories. So having Kickstarter was really a thing that we didn't have growing up, as so we didn't have a way to fund anything. So this was my first experience, and in my head I'm thinking, okay, it's probably going to be like just like local people, because I don't know if anyone's going to understand or just what I'm trying to do. But after I pitched it and I started to see who the backers were, and they're like people from just all over the United States, as far as like Maryland and Pittsburgh. And I was thinking, what the hell? This is not what I expected. So actually I had to, with the audience that was coming on board with it, I was like, okay, I don't know if they're going to be able to figure out what the hell's going on as far as, because the characters in Namakua series too, a lot of them are either speaking a really heavy dose of pidgin or just a light dose. So you don't, you have an extreme, but if you don't know anything, then you might be a little like, oh man, what the hell? It's gonna be like Gambit on the Deadpool movie. You won't know what's going on. And you're familiar with the accents and their pidgin, their Creole. So I had to make a decision of putting like a pidgin to English translation in the book. And so that was definitely helpful. And I got a lot of response from the backers. Yes, they thank you for doing that, because, and I just love it. And it really, I think these are good things because, you're really sharing what island culture and is about by doing that. You're kind of like pushing it out into the world where, you probably wouldn't get that from, a Marvel or DC-ish. You wouldn't see that. They won't probably allow that. So, this is, once again, it goes back to not telling a watered down story, not kind of worrying about it, but then having something where an average person who's reading in the States maybe not know anything about the islands. It was their backup. So that was the shift that I made, and I've pretty much carried on throughout almost every book to have that pidgin to English. So that's the transition. But Kickstarter has been there with each large project that I've tried to push out, and it's been blessings after blessings with different people coming, staying, or going. But it's been a good ride with them.
Definitely. So Sean and Daryl, have either of you had experiences with Kickstarter or any other like crowdfunding types of platforms?
Go ahead, Sean.
This is my very first, but I have supported people Kickstarter. I think my first Kickstarter I supported was Moana Comics when he dropped his first Amakua, I believe. Yeah, so that's when I learned about Kickstarter. Like, this is a cool platform. So, like, yeah, this is my first time being on a Kickstarter. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, what a full circle thing. Yeah, to be like, oh, I supported this project, and look, now I'm working with the company. How cool is that, right?
Yes.
Daryl, how about you?
I have a friend who publishes. He's got a comic book company called Power Comics, and it's located here in Illinois. And I did some pinups for him, not sequentials, but pinups. So I got to see some ups and downs of the process of Kickstarter, and learn some things from what he was doing. And but this is the first time that I actually did a book, like a sequential art. So that was very exciting. And I was like doing cartwheels when like the next day I checked out the backers. I was like, oh my God, it's funded already. It was like, it's fun. And I went to bed, I woke up, and boom, it's being done. So that was awesome feeling. It was awesome.
So fast.
Yeah, Kickstarter will take you on some emotional roller coasters, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. There are moments, especially if you try to go for high numbers. It really is. It's the most stressful thing. It's almost like you have to. Moana knows this. You almost got to dedicate a month of just being able to stress about it because you're going through it. You're going through it right now. These emotions of like, oh God, peaks and then valleys, and you're kind of waiting in the valley, and there's little peaks here and there, but it's definitely worth it. And then Shun and Daryl, they would put little snippets out there of sending messages of what their project they're working on, and which was AKUMAN and Moana TeamUp, and that was really I'm just really grateful for them to throw that out there and share that with their fans and their viewers. So that kind of stuff, that marketing stuff, that's like never ending, and it's a balance too, Moana. You know this because it's like you don't want to put it too much because I don't know if it's being local. You feel like you're force feeding, and it's like maybe I should be a little more standoffish. Too much is too much, and then you kind of have to shift gears a little bit. But it's Kickstarter is everything. It's the planning and everything, the emails, and there's a lot involved with it. I think if anyone out there is planning to do Kickstarters, it really is. It's a task, and there's a lot of trial by fire, and you're learning in the deep end. But and I learned like little tricks in here how to do it. But there's some people that say, well, why do you keep relying on it? But I think it's a necessary thing in a lot of things because financially, you'll see actually people like with big names, and you figure they would never do something on a Kickstarter, but you see, holy crap, they're doing projects on that. That is nuts. So it's definitely, I think, more commonplace than people think, and rather than thinking, oh, we're out here just putting our guns out and saying, give me money, it really is. It's definitely, I think, more than that, obviously, but it's you have a dream, and you have to figure out ways to keep that dream going. And I think if you find people that are passionate at what you're doing, and because they can feel definitely your passion, then it just, like I said, it just takes on a life of its own, and it can keep going. So as long as people are interested in what, as creators, I think I'm going to keep going.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a question in the chat. So if we back a certain level, do we get everything in the lower tiers?
There's different, obviously there's different tiers, but if you backed, there's like a set group of things that everybody gets anyway. And then there was like early birds incentives, so you can get stickers or buttons and stuff, but there's like a set tier that you can get the the AKUMAN trading card, 2 stickers, actually 3 stickers. That it's standard for everybody. So it's not like whatever your tier reads, that's what you're getting. And if you're part of the early bird, then you'll get what those specific things were offered. You'll get them. So it's not like you ordered one and then you hit a certain amount of money, then you get like all the covers. No, it's whatever your tier suggests that you're gonna get.
That's awesome. But speaking of all the covers, that's the kind of backer I am.
Right?
For Chris's project, I'm like, oh, what? All the covers, yeah.
Right. Yeah. All the covers were just really fun, and it was so fun to see the different takes that people would come up with, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, I think this one was the most creative I've seen, and like just people's ideas that they came up with. It was absolutely nuts. But it goes back to, I think, just AKUMAN being that character that I think he's just like a blend, like old school Batman, or if you've ever followed along with like Dino Mutt and the Blue Falcon. I mean, that goes on. It just, that type of that cartoony feel. That's all those different covers. I think people are just like, oh, they can make their own take on it. You got the retro style, and then you got the that one in the corner. It's like that Savage Dragon style, and it's just it was fun. Oh, even that one that says monotone. I came with that gimmick idea, but it is just it reads like an ad, but an ad if somebody from the West Side was to create an ad about the monotone. So when you get that comic, enjoy it because that was a fun one to do that one. But yeah. So the covers just definitely unique and yeah, it's probably going to be a hard choice unless you just get them all. Then you're good to go.
Get them all. Be like me, just
get them all and just go. And yeah, so the mono team ups had Shun doing that original governor did. He's working on a standard cover. So once these Kickstarter exclusive covers, once they're done, you can't get them. And so there will be some standard covers that, when I start to sell them, at the events and stuff. But yeah, if I have extras, maybe you'll get lucky and get a couple. But that one with Jason too, the one he's helmeted up. And then that other offer that I put where you can get them unmasked. I just didn't. I had the mosaic action and left people guessing of what that would look like. And right where you're scrolling right now, that's all that stuff right there. Everyone's going to get the fangirl, Aku, the lionfishy, the baby sister shark looking like she's undercover and embarrassed to be with her. That whole set is yours. And then there's like also like t-shirts like the one I'm wearing. That's something that's unique to it. That's actually that picture of AKUMAN is like another homage one to there's an AKUMAN shirt that's similar, but I wanted to make it because it's an old school retro, and once again, and I'm always a fan of the old school retros. The Bronze Age is just my favorite era. And so yeah, and there's different tiers that you offer you like the different designs for your t-shirt. And so there's 3 altogether. The highest tier you can choose either one. So yeah, so there's options. There's a lot of fun stuff. I think the hardest choice you'll make is to try to decide what cover you're gonna do. And yeah, that's the unmasked one, the secret one. It doesn't look like that. It doesn't say unmasked with the mosaic because that would be the ultimate slap in the face for someone who bought that. But no, it's definitely has a reveal. And then Sarah Yu is the one that did that cover, and I was actually lucky to get Scott McDaniel, which is that next one up. Scott McDaniel, if you'll recognize him from Nightwing, he did some runs on Superman and Batman. Nightwing is his run on Nightwing and with Chuck Dixon. That era for Nightwing made me a fan for life. I was already a fan of Robin because I kind of grew up with the boy wonder ever since Super Friends, that watching him grow. And when Scott McDaniel did Nightwing, that was such a great storyline. It was fun, and he did his own take on him. So yeah, there were some other early rewards and with stickers and buttons actually created by Daryl. Daryl has like a ton of these pins, and a lot of them has certain characters from the DC universe, such and such for president, and they give a little snippet about them on the bottom corner of the buttons. I was like, Daryl, you got to make me this. I got to have these. So you have the opportunity to get Daryl's work in a button form, very patriotic, especially in coming this November. Why not wear these? I think they'll do a better job. I don't know. I think Dog is definitely. I would love him as a vice president. But it's these two characters they were fun to do with it, and it goes along with those two. I didn't want him to have like Aquaman to have like an Amber Heard. So it's like instead of a redhead, I give him a pit bull, non-equally a pit bull with him, and it like I said, it goes along with the Blue Falcon and where's another one, a Mighty Man and Yuck. That's a more obscure, but that type of dynamic duel. Where they're always beefing like an old married couple. That's how I imagine them, and it just makes for a fun thing. And that's actually in the book too with Baby Sister Shark. It's that banter back and forth local style that they just jab at each other. I think with the world that it is, where everyone's so sensitive and canceling, it just feels like that old school local humor has. It seems to be they're trying to push that away. So it's fun to play with it in the sandbox and say, hey, it's okay to, to go at it a couple of times, but in the end, you're gonna still be okay with each other. That's just the way that's the way it is. You're gonna bicker, and so local style is that type of island humor, and it's wholesome and it's real and it's true to what over here island life is all about.
Absolutely.
Good.
So Daryl and Spectana, as artists and creatives, like what for like kids or people who are looking at like potentially getting into comics as a creator, what kind of advice would you give to them in terms of like developing their artistic style and like their own voice in creations?
Oh, Daryl, you can go first.
Okay. Yeah. So, like I was saying earlier, I'm not a young guy. I'm an older guy, and but what I learned is follow your dream, in the sense that do what you like to do. And a true story. So I was working in animation for several years, and I was about to jump out a window. I couldn't draw another rabbit or another leprechaun, and but I had some friends who were trying to get me to do comic book conventions, right? And I'm like, people aren't going to like what I have to offer because but I didn't know, right? So I just did what I wanted to do. I didn't go out there and say, oh, I got to draw like Jim Lee, or oh, I got to draw like Adam Hughes, or a lot of people kind of follow the whatever's hot at the moment. And I say, you know what? If I'm going to do these comic conventions, I'm doing what I like to do. I'm going to do Jack Kirby. I'm going to do Steve Ditko. I'm going to do John Romita Sr. And not knowing what the results would be, okay? And it was fantastic. I got a great feedback, and it was kind of affirming to just do what you like to do. Go for it, and be true to it. Now, you may have to do other work to pay the bills, and just like Christopher, great point when he was saying, because I can completely relate with him. He's like, I had this dream since I was a kid, but then reality comes and you have nonstop bills and you've got, you got to get a full-time job. But on the side, you have to have a creative outlet. And just like Christopher said, I had to do this for my sanity, do the comic. That's what I did with my comic work. And we probably actually were doing it around the same time because I've been doing it for maybe about 10 years or so. And maybe a little more, but just follow what you like to do, and with the social media platforms, get it out there. You've got to get it out there. And word of caution, and we all, all four of us know this, is there's going to be haters, okay? There's going to be haters. But you know what I do with them? I block them, I delete them, I get rid of them. Because this is my world. This is my rules, and I don't need you here. Okay, so goodbye. And you just got to be like that. You just, you just got to be like that. But follow your dream, follow your passion. You may have to do other things, but don't forget what it is that you like to do.
That's good advice.
I have to agree with Daryl. Yes, definitely continue doing what you love. But I believe in developing your style, just I guess find what you love reading if you're a beginning artist, and then study. For me, I'm grateful that I found the style that I love when I was really young, like in elementary. I love reading. I always went to my my school library and I picked up my first Charlie Brown, and I love Charlie Brown, Charles Schultz, just read that. And then I started I love it so much that I want to make my own Charlie Brown comic panel. So you can say that I'm not, no offense to you guys, I'm not old, but also I'm not young. But I grew up in the art world with the older generation, but I still mingle with you. So I drew Charlie Brown and everything I studied, and then in middle school, like I came across Calvin and Hobbes, and I love their characters. Started drawing, and then high school came, and then I just started, creating my own style from those characters. But like Daryl mentioned, uh, push your stuff out there, because no one knows you exist. Let people know you exist. Um, try to social media, whatever you have to. For me, it was how I got my stuff out there was I had a normal job before, but on my downtime I would grab the receipt paper. I get scolded for this, but I just doodle on the side, and then people would say, "Oh, you're really great at art." My boss, my coworkers, and they're like, "Have you ever thought of doing a convention?" Like, what's a convention? Like, you have so many in Hawaii, have you not? And I think that's when I attended my very first convention, KawaiiCon. I believe it was KawaiiCon. And that's where I met Christopher Carvalho. I'm like, this is the guy that stole my dream. No, I'm kidding. This is the guy. To be honest, like, I wanted to be the first to make a Hawaii superhero, and I came home one day, saw his article on Medium, going, he did it! Whoa! Someone in Hawaii did it! They finally did it! So, 100% support. Anyways, I met him at KawaiiCon, Christopher Carvalho, and he inspired me. Like, oh, he can do it, and he's doing a convention. I'll look into this convention thing. So, I did that, and that's when people started realizing, noticing my artwork. Like, oh, this is awesome! I want to buy your prints. I want to buy it, and it just gives you some motivation to continue doing what you're doing. So definitely get your work out there. Let the world know that your art exists. So people will recognize your art.
Definitely, that's good advice. Okay, so last question. So what is this? What's in the future for this series? Are we gonna get more? Is it gonna just be one shot?
I don't want it to be one shots. I was telling Daryl, if I get $1 billion, this never ends, dude. I just had honestly, I had so much fun creating these two. It was easy, and it's good to tap into stuff that has lots of joy, and that's what these books had, and it was just fun. It was fun, and I wanted to keep going. I know, there's a lot of hard work involved, and I know Sean. I think he's doing this full time. How he's surviving. I'm recently into that class of This Is What I'm Doing, so it's definitely a challenge of balance to just focus and trying to live in Hawaii. It's challenging, but I love it, and I want to keep this series going. And of course, there's so much other stuff that I've done in the past that I want to keep going to, but these two are definitely special, and I hope to see more of it in the future.
Awesome. Well, I am so glad that we were able to catch up, and I was able to, kind of help let people know about this awesome comic.
Thank you for bringing awareness. That's the main thing. The coconut wireless is strong. That's how right. We do it. That's how we do it.
Oh man, so we just got a new backer. Mahalo Nui, thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate you guys. It looks like we lost Daryl. Maybe he had some technical difficulties, but it was really awesome to get to know him and hear like the some of the childhood things that I'm like, what? That's crazy. She got all the covers. We successfully convinced her. Get all the okay, so yeah, it looks like you guys have about 2 weeks left, on this campaign. Let me see. 8 days. I'm sorry. I got you mixed up with another one. So 8 days left in the campaign, guys. Definitely check out AKUMAN #1 and Moana TeamUp on Kickstarter. We really appreciate your support. It means so much because we didn't talk about it a little bit, but what Chris also does, like with his comics and like, but off the Kickstarter platform, is he works a lot with the kids in the community, and he goes into the schools and he does a lot of that stuff. And I
That's
know
that's the favorite stuff out of all of it.
exactly.
Like it don't matter how like, oh, I'm on the news, who cares? It's actually going the kids and watching their excitement that makes it all worthwhile. That's what I've learned, and it's the best feeling.
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite part too, is seeing their faces light up and hearing them say, "Oh, I want to write a story," or "Oh, I want to write a book." It's like, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Inspiring, definitely.
Yes. Okay, so before we sign off real quick, let people know where they can find you online outside of Kickstarter, where they can follow your journey and
Sean, go tell them.
Comics, right there.
Oh,
you can Google Moana Comics friendly.
Okay, so moanacomics.com, you'll find me online. If you want to catch up on some of the other back issues that I've done, the Amakua series, Sister Shark and Nui Warriors, Pele Kamehameha, moanacomics.com. We're going to do the festival, Made in Hawaii Festival this weekend. If you're on the islands, we got our own booth over there. So stop by, say hi, buy some stuff you like. Aloha.
Right on. Spectana?
Oh, you can find me on Spectana Instagram. And also, I also stream on Twitch. I do my live artwork on Twitch Tuesdays and Sundays. Just type Spectana on the search bar of Twitch. Yeah.
Yes. Awesome.
And Daryl Young I know Daryl has a bunch of stuff too. You can buy prints at his store. I think it's DarylYoungDesign.com. I'm just doing it off the top of my head. I'm thinking that's what it is. But find him on Facebook, and you'll get definitely his link via that way. Daryl Young. And definitely great stuff. Like I said, I got his prints in my office, like 4 or 5 of them, plus his buttons. I just love them.
Yeah, great art style. Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to the Moana Nui Podcast. If you're not already following us, hit subscribe, follow us on Facebook, all the good stuff. You know how it is. Share this with your friends and Ohana if you think, you know people who would like enjoy this. Or you have kids in your hale who need, these kinds of stories where they can see and relate and just be inspired by this work. So thank you, everybody. We hope everybody has a good rest of the week, and we'll talk to you soon. Ahui ho.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. If this the land of the free, it was a freedom then. When they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves the Republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand, Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe. As a part of their ongoing war with Asia, used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. The work of all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If we won't tell it, we will. We will. So if we put Hawaii into perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course. Cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system. Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe. As a part of their ongoing war with Asia, used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. Network out for all the locals, school will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf, if we won't tell it we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf, if we won't tell it we will. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf, if we won't tell it we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf, if we won't tell it we will. We will.